You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Short-term, long-term, hair perm, don't care. Can Connor McDavid just sign the goddamn contract? Let's get into it with the lead. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, Monday edition of the show. It's brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, I usually do Sports Closet first, but Bet365 popped into my head. My account.
Yeah, mine was good yesterday. Shout out 81 points.
Shout out those 81 points. Shout out the Buffalo Bills. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
And shout out my dogs at the crib.
Shout out my dogs at the crib. Also, shout out to our friends at the Sports Closet, sportscloset.ca. Jerseys, hats, the legendary foam finger. You'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet. Can I say something that sounds kind of soft? Sure. Got my nephew for his birthday a Connor McDavid jersey.
Oh.
And he turned 2.
Yeah.
So I got him like the real little size.
Yeah.
The little C on the front, so cute. The little Captain C on the Connor McDavid jersey.
Hopefully
it's adorable.
Stays.
Adorable. I mean, he needs to stay so that my nephew can understand a world with Connor McDavid.
That's true.
Yeah.
A world about Connor McDavid. I cannot imagine what that would be like.
Pretty depressing.
No, I mean, yes, of course. But at least we would still have something.
Yeah, it's not like the team would go. Yeah. It's not like they'd pack up the team and fold them. It wouldn't be
like the Islanders when Tavares, I'm different caliber, but Tavares left, he was like, holy shit.
Tavares left and they went to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals.
Did they really?
Yeah. And we still have Leon. Why are we doing this? Whoa, okay, whoa. Where is this going?
I take great pride in being an Oiler and obviously wear my heart on my sleeve. But I love nothing more than wearing that jersey and representing our city and our great fans. That wasn't McDavid, unfortunately. That was Leon Draisaitl.
What do you? I won't even say unfortunately. Hell yeah, Leon.
No, that's great. I love.
That.
But wouldn't it be awesome if McDavid just said that too?
Yeah, it would be great. I love Leon Draisaitl because, like he said, he kind of wears his heart on his sleeve. Like, nothing gets me more fired up than when you see, like, the Leon Draisaitl Instagram story post. Yeah. and it's him just, like, in whatever generic font
Something
came up.
Dumb.
It's not some PR marketing person's like, hey, Leon, probably smart for you to, like, throw this up in your story. He's just legitimately like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Season starts in a month. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he did that one the other day. He was like, can't wait for this moment. He did the Tyson Berry thing, too.
Yeah.
He was like, that was funny.
It really is
It seems
hilarious.
like just like a very, what you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So there's a little bit of Leon Draisaitl love to start your Monday morning. Actually, a sneaky amount for us to get to today on the show. I see the chat is buzzing, and we can get into a couple of things here. I don't want it to fully bleed into what our Sherwood Ford giant question is, but I want to answer these. YouTube chat brought to you by our friends at Odd Company Brewing and the Nation Beer Everyday Lager, a crisp, clean lager crafted not just for game day, but for every day. Still some nice afternoons on deck here. Summer might be like over, but it's not over. Fall's a beautiful time in Edmonton. Hit up their patio in the Ritchie location. Austin says, good morning. What up? Kevin says, are we concerned yet? Absolutely not. Brad dropped in a question. Any chance where one of the teams trying to work out budget to bring in Kuznetsv? It would likely cost Henrique or Kulak if Henrique won't waive, plus one other forward, Janmark.
Kuznetsv? What year is this? Move Henrique. What's his name? Brad?
Yeah.
Brad. I just want to give you a little bit of a... This is not me being rude. I want to be straight up with you. If the Oilers were to go get Kuznetsv, you would not have to move any player off the roster because he would cost you nothing.
If he costs you any more than $1 million, you go...
You've made a bad decision.
You go, no, we're good, dog.
Yeah. He would be a PTO, and he would have to prove himself.
Yes.
Kuznetsov was a great player. A lot of fun. He's just not been that guy for years.
Can I give you his... First off, he played in the KHL last year, scored 12 goals in 39 games. That's decent.
Yeah. How old is he now?
He is 33. His last season in the NHL, he played 63 games and scored 8 goals.
That was
not great.
Yeah.
The season before that, he had 12. I know he had 55 points. He racked up the assists, played top line minutes with the Capitals, but he's not a guy who I look at and go, ooh, he'd adapt well to a bottom six role here, and he's learned how to play. Like, he cannot play defense. He does not kill penalties. He's not an especially strong centerman. he was good because he had chemistry with Ovi, and in his peak, he could score.
He was a really good player. Again, like he was part of those. He was an essential contributor to those Capital teams when they were doing really well.
There was, did he win the Conn Smythe, or was it just he should have?
He should have, or he was something like that. Yeah, he obviously won the cup with them. If Brad, you're looking for the Oilers to go get another forward, and in this hypothetical world we're all living in right now, and you're like, they need to move out forward to get this guy, just go get Jack Roslovic. I wouldn't. But like, also
Roslovic will cost you $3-4 million.
But that's what I mean. If he's saying like, just move Henrique to upgrade here, then just get this guy. He's 28.
He's a better player.
22 goals last season.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't. He's not coming here. Also, I can't believe Jack Roslovic is a free agent on September 8th.
That is weird.
That's really weird. He was a top 15 player, I would say, in the free agent class. And considering all the junk everyone else gave everyone, I can't believe he didn't get anything. He must be asking for a lot of money. Or was.
Or he played his hand wrong. Like maybe he thought he had more teams kind of pitted against each other and they all went different directions. But I still think he'll end up. I don't think he's sitting this long without knowing he's got something in his back pocket. Like, we're not going to see Jack Roslovic sign a PTO. He's going to get a guaranteed money deal at some point.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, Kuznetsov, Henrique is miles better in that role. Because you need someone who can kill, who can win draws, who can actually play bottom 6 minutes for you. Like, Kuznetsov, wherever he goes, if it's going to be successful, it's a team. I think Vancouver would make sense for him. Because it's like, you know what? You need to take a stab on someone being a skilled centerman.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And like, you need to give him power play time wherever he goes. Like, he's not just going to produce 40 points at 5-on-5. That's not who Evgeny Kuznetsov is.
And even them, like, I don't think they're that desperate.
Yeah.
I don't know what team would essentially be that desperate that they're like, we need Kuznetsov. He'll just play in KHL.
Vancouver.
They're like one of very few teams, but I don't see him in the NHL this year.
Y2 Bay, so many forwards fighting for spots already. I doubt it's a forward PTO as much as I'd love Klim back in the mix. And we got a couple comments about that, including Chester's that if I remember correctly, Tyler was pretty hardlined against Klim coming back. I love Klim Kostin.
Klim shady. Bring back the memes.
What an awesome Oiler. A guy who comes back to watch playoff games and put his Oilers jersey on when he's a member of the San Jose Sharks. Like, he's got legitimate love for this city.
Yeah.
I think I don't even think you have to inject him with true serum. You just got to ask him about it. He regrets leaving over the money.
Yeah.
He was offered a contract. It was like 1-something million. He went and got his $2 million from Detroit. Like, if he could go back in time, he does the opposite. He takes less money and stays. I love him. You don't need him.
No, and even he said, there's an article up on the website right now, Oilersnation.com. I've gone down that avenue of the team before, and it just doesn't seem like... It seems like a pipe dream to think they would want to do it twice. Yeah. Which is unfortunate, like you said. Like, he was a fun Oiler, but in the grand scheme of things of where this team is at right now, what is he, the third best option to play right wing for this team next season? He's a right winger, right? Is he a left winger? Either way, either side, it doesn't matter.
He shoots left, but
there isn't any room for him. Maybe he goes to Bakersfield.
Also, you go look at his... Yeah, right, maybe that's like if he's going to sign in Bakersfield anywhere or sign in the American League anywhere, it would be here because he sees a path to maybe being an Oiler again.
Perhaps.
But he's not going to make the team. They have too many guys. I don't know. And it's also very easy when you look at Klim Kostin's kind of career stats. Like, what year is the outlier?
The 1 year here.
The 1 year here. So was this something where Klim Kostin, there is something in the water here, and when he's an Oiler, he's just a different player and he's comfortable? Like, maybe a little bit. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know, man. And again, that kind of bleeds into our Sherwood Ford Giant question that we'll get into in a little bit. Squishy says, Klim PTO would be good. The guy said he'd be willing to die for us. If you're not trying to build a team culture like that, what are you really doing? The Oilers don't have a culture problem. So there's that, right? Like, I mean, the culture's built. The culture is back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. Connor, Leon, this core that's been together now for 5, 6, 7 seasons for a lot of them, 8 seasons for some of them. Like, your culture's built. You don't need Klim Kostin in camp to set the culture straight or something. Like, everyone who's here is happy to be an Oiler.
Can I just... give someone an example, everyone an example who wants Klim Kostin of like what they could have instead. You could just cheer more for Vasily Podkolzin.
Ah, there you go.
He's
a better version of Klim Kostin.
Way better. Makes $1 million. Already on the team. A guy again you can slide up and down and is a better skater and will fight when he I guess needs to. He doesn't go out of his way to get it, but Klim unfortunately not a spot here.
Kapanen.
Honestly, yeah, Mark.
Well, yeah, and I know Mulick said Janmark to the moon if you can bring in Kostin. I think I disagree with that.
Yeah, at least Janmark kills penalties.
Exactly.
Klim, he's a good 13th forward when you need him to play 8 minutes and maybe chip in your middle six if you need a goal.
That's all for the Klim talk?
I just don't have anything else.
I really don't either.
I don't think he wants to play in Russia from our understanding. I think he wants to be back in North America next year.
Yep.
So
he's married now. Congrats.
That's right, he is. Congrats. Bakersfield too, I wonder if I would assume he has a place in San Jose. I think those places are fairly close to each other.
Yeah.
Might work out.
Brownie says, I don't think we found that missing link yet.
To
what link is missing? I'm legitimately curious in what you what's the missing link? Back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals. A lot of links are secured. Mm-hmm. They're in place.
Ali says, our PK sucks. PK definitely sucked in the playoffs. And that
sometimes it sucks.
Yeah. It's really only been good the run 2 seasons ago. That was the only time I can think damn, that was historic.
Mulick says, I just love dudes that love Edmonton, and I'm with you 1,000%. I was having this conversation about CFLers and how cool it is when you see a CFLer who came to the city as an American who doesn't know anything about Canada, and it's probably their first time coming north of the border and where the hell is Edmonton? And I love when it's whoever. Yeah. Eddie Steele is a great example. Calvin McCarty, these guys who just come to the city and love the city so much they never leave after playing 5 CFL seasons.
Yeah.
Laddie Schmid's a great example of an NHLer who, same thing. Laddie Schmid played in other spots.
Yeah.
He could have retired in California. He could have gone back to Czechia. Yeah. Stayed in Edmonton. That's why we love Laddie.
Stay put, and he's embraced it.
Laddie should be a regular next year. I did want to float that question out to the chat of we're in the process because we are 3 weeks away from, our regular schedule ramping back up. Starting in October, we're back to 5 days a week. Who do you want to see on the show more next year? Who'd you like?
Who would you not like?
Nah, I don't like that. But who do you want more on the show next year? Let us know. Or maybe someone who we've never had on the show who you want. Can't say any current Oilers. But anyways.
Because we'd also take them.
Well, yeah, we would take any one of them in a heartbeat.
If you're watching.
Alexander Gorgiev needs a PTO.
Yes, he does.
He certainly does. He needs some.
A lot of Russians need some jobs this season, don't they?
I don't have a lot of interest in Alexander Gorgiev.
No, considering he was the worst goalie in the league last year.
Mm-hmm.
Although a lot of you think it was Stuart Skinner, it was actually Gorgiev.
It was actually Gorgiev. I just don't really see it. Again, not a great teammate.
I would take the other guy. If the others were legit looking for another goalie to come into camp, I would look at Samsonov.
Yeah, I would have time for Ilya Samsonov on a PTO, but even then,
I wouldn't do it.
But what
if I had to?
Yeah, and my devil's advocate to it is what is Ilya Samsonov going to do in 2 weeks of training camp or 3 weeks of training camp in preseason that would make you be let's waive Calvin Pickard for him?
It would be based off history, but if they thought they were going to do it, they would just go back and they would have just re-signed him. They would have just signed him instead of Matt Tompkins, to be honest. Being we have these 3 goalies, Skinner, Pickard, and what's his name, Samsonov.
Yeah.
They all compete. The third guy in the race will go to Bakersfield. And they'll play with whatever, who's down there, Day, Johansson, whatever it is. I think Samsonov's a decent goalie. I think I don't think he's anything special, but his save percentage last year was probably a little worse than it should have been considering his underlying numbers.
Alexander Gorgiev had an 875 last year, everybody.
It's not bad. That's not good.
And he was awful with Colorado in back-to-back seasons. So, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Good on Gorgiev. Someone said Dustin Penner. I don't think he would come on the show.
I don't even know what he's up to. Does he even do media area?
No, I don't think so. Not really a lot of former Oilers.
Jarrett Stoll does a lot of stuff for the Kings.
Yeah, but he's a Kings employee.
I know, but I'm just saying, I said, another guy.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? George Lorock. George does so much stuff.
He's on with Bob so much. If we're going to get a regular, I kind of like someone who's, maybe not, people don't see as much. Like a Jason Demers. A lot of people in this market don't get JD all that much. Yeah. So I think that's part of the reason why it's exciting. All right. Let's keep cruising along. Let's get to, it's a Monday. Someone said, you spent 10 minutes on Kostin and Kuznetsov. Yeah, man, September 8th. Training camp hasn't started yet. Got to talk about something. But let's kick off the show with like a what's trending weekend recap. It's brought to you by our friends at Oodle Noodle. The value menu deal. I had someone reach out to me about this the other day. They said, is it still on? I said, you better believe it still is. You can add on 2 green onion cakes, 5 spring rolls, or 6 wontons for just $2 with the purchase of any box, signature or premium, in-store, and oodlenoodle.ca. Take out only. Shout out to Oodle Noodle. What's trending? We played in the Sherwood Ford golf tournament. Shout out to Sherwood Ford the Giant.
Sure did.
10 under. Not bad.
Day.
That was our goal.
Yeah,
that
we
was
did
our
good.
goal. That's right.
Yeah, we said we wanted to hit 10. We did. Aaron had a big chip out of the bunker, made a couple putts. You chipped in with some putts. We used a couple tee shots.
Because we had to.
Yeah. We left some strokes out there, though.
Probably at least 2.
Yeah, at least 2.
We were less boozed up because of the 8:30 start.
8:30 a.m. shotgun start, yeah.
Caesars were good.
Yeah,
Caesars were good.
Yeah,
it was a good day. I mean, Broadmoor's a great course to play.
Red zone in the cart all morning.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Didn't hit a bet.
Oh, we didn't have... Us 3 hit our picks, though.
Yeah,
It was Eli that did.
Eli messed up because he took Trevion Henderson.
Yeah.
I took Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. Maybe the story of week 1 up until Sunday Night Football. They're calling him Indiana Jones.
I did see that, actually, yeah. Yeah, maybe the story of week 1. I can't really think of anything else that would have been. Like the Jets-Steelers game was good by all accounts.
Raj possibly being back.
Yeah, but like Danny Dimes, like so unexpected. Like the stories are like Danny Dimes was great, or Indiana Jones, sorry, and the Dolphins were horrendous.
Yeah.
Now, do those 2 things come together at some point? It's like, oh, they're both actually bad. But yeah, that was good. And then obviously the Sunday night game was one of the greatest games probably since that Rams-Chiefs game.
54-51.
That was unbelievable.
But even that was more just like these 2 supercharged offenses and these 2 defenses that just couldn't do anything. I actually felt like this Bills-Ravens one was more like that one was a last possession wins because it was just like they scored every possession. This one was a little bit different because like there was the intrigue of like Buffalo needed 2 stops. Buffalo got their 2 stops or they got the fumble, that kind of a change. This is a sped up version of the final, we'll call it final quarter. That catch by DeAndre Hopkins was crazy. I was convinced it was over at that point. And then
rightfully so.
So were a lot of Bills fans.
Yeah, Bills fans were leaving the building. And then when they cashed this one in here, and it was a great little run by Josh Allen, I was like, okay, we just need a stop and a score. And then we missed the 2 points, and then I was like, shit, 2-possession game again. And then Lamar does this, and I'm like, well, that's the ball game. Bills force a turnover. Or forces,
next one.
I keep forgetting this.
So much happened.
So much happened. They're down 41-25. I was like, okay, now it's definitely over. At this point here on 4th and 2, the Bills had a 0.9% chance of winning.
Really?
0.9 according to NFL stats. They end up scoring the touchdown off a deflection, force a fumble. Ed Oliver was an absolute beast on defense in that game. One of the only defensive players who was good. Josh Allen jumps in. You're like, hey, they got to get the 2 point. They don't. They end up kicking a field goal late. Josh Allen just made some perfect throws down the stretch. And here's where I will go on a mini Bills rant.
Okay.
And then we'll get back to other stuff. I think it's so funny. People were talking so much shit about their defense. People were also grossly disrespecting the Bills coming into this game. I think everybody on the Sunday Night Football panel picked the Ravens to win. The Bills, despite going to the AFC Championship last game, got pushed to being home underdogs because so much public money was on the Ravens. The Ravens opened the season as Super Bowl favorites, all of this stuff. And then the Ravens start running all over the Bills. Kind of like they did in the regular season last year, not in the playoffs when the Bills beat them.
Yeah.
And everyone's just sitting there being like, man, this Bills defense stinks. They're terrible. They're brutal. And all of a sudden, everyone stops giving flowers to the Ravens. It's now no longer Lamar Jackson should have been MVP, King Derrick Henry. It's like, oh, the Bills defense sucks. The Bills defense sucks. And then the Bills defense turns on the Jets and gets 2 massive stops in the 4th quarter, and no one wants to give them any credit for stepping up when they did. They're super banged up. They're playing like 3rd and 4th string safeties.
It was bad, though.
It was bad early on.
It was bad
early on, but it's also very easy to see that why it was bad. That's because of the spots where they have a lot of injuries. And then
they got the stops when they needed them.
It's also Derrick Henry, dude. He does that to everybody.
And no one, like, now that the game has happened and we're looking back in hindsight, no one is sitting there and pointing at the Ravens, being like, frauds.
Well, I think the Ravens
defense
already had the fraud headline to them as well because they just fuck it up every year. But No, you're right. Like, did the Bills open up as home underdogs, or did it flip?
It flipped.
Okay, so the public money pushed it essentially.
Yeah. I also I was watching the game obviously with Amber last night, and like when the fourth quarter started, and I still had some belief. I was like, we still haven't gotten the vintage Baltimore Ravens turnover. They do it every single time they're in a big game.
It's usually not Derrick Henry. It's usually someone like Rashad Bateman,
Yeah.
sorry, some bum like that.
Crushing Mark Andrews, something.
Something like that.
Mick Hindry, Bills didn't deserve it though. But the Ravens did. They fumbled the ball. They didn't take care of the football. The Ravens messed that game up real bad.
Yeah, it was such a weird game. Like I said before the show, like
this is a hilarious draft.
I've never seen a team absolutely dominate the other team and lose. Like especially in the second half. The first half I didn't catch as much, but second half it just seemed like every time they wanted to run, they were gone for 20.
Yeah.
Every time Zay Flowers got the ball, he was like, "Oh, I'm in the red zone again," and it was like, how is this game still going at this point?
But the last 5 minutes was so
dominant.
dominated by Buffalo that
it was crazy. Yeah, the last, what was that, 12:51?
3:56.
The score, the top score there. So 11:42 is when they got the goal, whatever it's called, touchdown. It was an awesome game. It was a lot of fun. I hit a nice parlay.
So
I had both teams to score 20, which that was easy. Derrick Henry to get 70 yards or more, and then Josh Allen to get 20 yards. And funnily enough, I had them to get one field goal, and it was like plus 200 or something like that. It was actually a great little Sunday night.
So I took advantage of one of the things Bet365 was offering, and I went heavy because it's my Buffalo Bills.
That's what I also took advantage of.
You got to take advantage of those.
Advantage.
So I had James Cook touchdown.
Did he? Oh, yeah.
He got one. Khalil Shakir, 4+ catches, nailed it. Bills to win, obviously. And then Josh Allen, 30+ rushing yards. And it worked out to being like 10-1, 11-1. Josh Allen was at 35 rushing yards. I had him at 30+.
Yeah. He sweated that out.
He kneeled for -2, kneeled for -1, and kneeled for -2 and finished on dead on 30. Whoa. Unbelievable cash.
My Lord.
It was electric. Matt Prater looked like he was selling beers in the stands, and they were like, shit, can you kick?
Lions legend.
He's been around he's 41, oldest player to ever play for the Bills.
19th season.
He's really the oldest player
To ever play for the Bills.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
That's surprising because usually kickers, you can get him at like 40. Like some bum comes up and he's 44 years old.
And
it was an awesome game.
Awesome football game.
Can't wait for next week. I don't even know who anyone plays. But what a Sunday night game. Now tonight we get Vikings Pass.
Yeah, we go
It'll
from
be fun, I think. I think it'll be a good game. But
Lamar,
it won't be the same.
Lamar versus Josh to JJ McCarthy versus Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Won't be as fun.
Could be one we look back on in 10 years being like the first time those two players met.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Liam, we're not concerned about the Lions, right?
Oh no. Heavily concerned.
Oh, really?
Not over the defense, because the defense is always bad. But the offense, the fact they were just like not able to do anything but checkdowns all game wasn't ideal. I'm not concerned in the personnel. I just think it might take them a few weeks, and I think the division is so good that they're going to be scrapping at the end. And maybe one of those teams, like however many weeks it is till week 8, what months it is till week 8, whatever, like back half of the season, they go like 10-2 or something.
Yeah, just turn on the Jets.
But yeah, they'll not ideal.
I have one other thing because it popped up on my feed. Lamar Jackson shoving that Bills fan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the Bills fan leans over the railing, and he kind of like taps DeAndre Hopkins on the head, or hits him on the head, whatever you want to say. And then Lamar comes by and he whacks Lamar too. And then Lamar like full on shoves the kid back.
Yeah.
This looks like maybe someone who's in like their late teens, maybe early 20s, maybe not even quite that old. Either way, should fans touch players? No. Should players shove fans? Never. If you don't want the fans to touch you, don't go showboating by the front row of the rowdy Bills sections.
That fan was banned from all the NFL stadiums.
Saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which is always a funny thing too, because I'm pretty sure that just means like you can come back, but like if you do something again, then they like have that on you. I think you can get like charged with trespassing. That's how it worked at the mall.
Sit at the back.
Yeah,
you know?
Like you can still go. But anyways, I thought it was funny of them be like, oh, the fans, don't showboat by the sidelines, and like you won't get touched.
I really didn't see a lot of criticism on this, to be honest. I just see it as no one else was really smacking him on the head or anything, right?
Yeah, it's like one dumb fan, I guess.
Yeah, that's my only thing. But you see this all the time in
Green Bay.
Yeah, that's what
Lambeau Leap.
Yeah,
and if an opposing player jumps in, what do? They shove him out of there.
Him out. But I guess that's a bit different of like the player
Knows what he's
into
doing.
the
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah.
Either way.
All right. Big win for the Edmonton Elks over the Calgary Stampeders. That
Big
keeps
win.
their.
Big crowd.
Well, yeah, you talk about it because you were there.
It was almost 29,000 people. It was. I have not seen Commonwealth Stadium like that for an Elks game, maybe ever.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. It was so much fun.
Justin Rankin, 90-yard TD, hopped on with our friends Eddie and Declan at Elk Central for an interview this morning. You can find that.
Did he?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, go check that out. First time in 25 years, something like that, in the CFL, I believe, that someone has ran for that long of a touchdown. It was so good. And the other thing I loved about this game in the Elks is you could tell they were feeling it from the crowd. Like they were in it because they were hitting the Stampeders offensive players with authority. Like they were killing
Physically punishing.
Oh, it was so good. Like there was one play in particular that stands out I don't know who it was, but one of the Stampeders players caught the ball on the sideline, so it was a clean catch, had it right in his basket. And then the Elks player just nailed him right in the chest, so the ball just exploded out of him, and it ended up being a 3-and-out. And they were just, every single play they were playing just with a lot of purpose. And credit to him, because they got absolutely smoked in the Labor Day game.
They did.
Smoked. It was brutal. So I walked into that stadium, again, didn't realize what the crowd was going to be, and immediately bet Elks money line. It was like
Were they dogs?
Plus 265.
Unbelievable. They open as dogs next week. They play Saturday in Toronto, which is a big game because, one, they got to catch BC.
Yep.
But if they catch BC, that competition with Toronto is potentially for the crossover. Like they could be going to the East playoffs.
How far behind are they now?
They're tied with BC for the crossover spot.
BC.
That's
How
10?
many teams make the playoffs?
6, 3 in each.
Oh, 3 in each. Gotcha.
Yep.
I've got Elks
they're
plus
fun.
7,000. So let's go
To
to
what?
win the Grey Cup.
70-1. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Maybe the crowd can keep them alive, Liam.
Maybe.
You got to believe. You got to believe.
I might go in a couple of weeks. I think they play the Rough Riders on a Saturday as well.
Oh, nice.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think I got some friends who are going to that one. I want to go to it too.
Yeah. Hopefully there's a good crowd again.
If it's a good Elks crowd combined with a Saskatchewan game, that place could be rocking.
Well, to put into perspective how big the crowd was, people were sat in the upper bowl.
Yeah.
And it was all the way to the top, they were sat in the upper bowl. It was
Sick.
Shit, I haven't seen that.
Good stuff from the Elks.
Yeah, great stuff. Keep supporting them. They're a good team.
Yeah. It's a fun time too. I don't go as much as I need to, but
Yeah. I've
as
been
much
to
as I
2
should.
games this year. Beers also $6.
Oh my God. Seriously?
Yeah.
You basically can't get them cheaper at any restaurant.
No, it was great.
All right. Let's get back into some hockey talk. Let's do quotes, a segment that's brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association. Alberta school boards have the least to spend per student on public education in all of Canada. This chronic underfunding has left schools in crisis, classrooms overcrowded, student needs unmet, and supports at an all-time low. Record numbers of teachers are leaving the profession due to worsening conditions. As proud Albertans, we cannot stand by and let government policies continue to neglect education. If you want to make a difference for Albertans everywhere, demand answers from your local MLA. Our kids deserve better. It's time to stop the excuses. For more information, visit stoptheexcuses.ca. Quotes from David Tomasek, who had an interview with Jason Greger that is up now at Oilersnation.com. And one of the things Greger said, Tomasek much bigger than he's listed.
Yeah, he said he's about 6'2", 210, I think.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
Yeah.
Being that height, north of 200 pounds, he has a chance to be a bit of a physical threat. Greger asked him, are you more comfortable as a center or as a winger? He said, the last 2 years I was a center. On the national team, I played center and wing, so I don't care. Whatever fits them better. I loved reading. Did you read the whole interview?
I did.
His whole mindset is just how can I be the best for the Oilers? How can I be the best for the Oilers? And he talked about how over the last few years, he's had offers to come over, but they were one-way offers. The Oilers were two-way offers.
Yeah.
The Oilers were the first team to, Bowman and company flew to Sweden to go see him and meet him and shake his hand. And the Oilers were the first team to really commit to him with a one-way deal. And that's why he finally felt like at age 29, now's a good time for him to make the jump over. He did play junior against Connor McDavid, Darnell Nurse, and Andrew Mangiapane. I found that cool. But you liked his quote about what he's been doing around the city.
Yeah, so obviously he'd never been to Edmonton before by the sounds of it and getting used to the city and everything. And Greger asked him, what have you been up to? And he said, I've been wandering around the river valley. And he said it was beautiful. He also went to Little Brick and Dog Patch, which is where we work. So,
What a shout out.
To be honest, I could fall over David Tomasek in the street and wouldn't know it was him. So,
I think if you saw a guy that was 6'2", 210 pounds,
Maybe.
you might be like, that's an athlete. You know,
Oh,
athletes.
I think maybe, yeah, but I wouldn't know it was him.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I thought that was like a very interesting thing. I was reading the article. It just like kind of came out and stood out to me. But we'll see what he's like. He's a major wild card.
Yeah.
Position will be interesting, like you said, like can play center, but looks like you're probably playing the right wing. Sounds like he's a really good skater. Gregor kind of pointed out in the article, and I think Tomasek said it a bit too, of like when you play in Sweden, it's not really about like being physical, it's about skating because the ice is so much bigger. Like there's not a, he said, he's like, if you hit in that league, you kind of get thrown out of position, and that's not to say he's not a physical guy. I mean, 6'2", 210, so I'd imagine he can throw his butt around a little bit, but yeah, and I'm very curious what he's going to become, especially if Zach Hyman misses the start of the season, like it sounds like he's going to. Like, how long does that end up being? Can Tomasek, can he chip in and have a healthy start to the season whilst Hyman comes back? Maybe that gives Hyman an extra week, for example, to stay off if he can come in and be a bit of a presence. So he's the player probably I'm most intrigued about coming into camp because I just don't know what to think of him.
Yeah. Chester says, man, I realize all these fresh players could be good surprises, but I'm somewhat uncomfortable with the number of wingers that are being depended on to make a difference. And Gregor talked about this at the end of his article. Like you just said, Zach Hyman hasn't shot a puck yet this offseason. That's not exactly an encouraging sign for him being ready to go in October. It might take him a bit to get rolling. But Gregor says, and we talked about this last week, if there was going to be a good regular season team, they're going to need career years from a couple guys, or close to career years.
Guys,
yeah. And, who could those guys be? Like Lavoie, Howard, Tomasek, Podkolzin. Those are great candidates. Gregor talked about Mangiapane. He scored more than 18 goals once. He's managed to get to 30. Like, if Mangiapane can get you 25 and Tomasek, like, let's flip this. What's Tomasek's ceiling in your eyes?
Well, I thought one thing, that was interesting is he did lead either his team in Sweden or the Swedish league, whatever it was, in goals.
Yep.
He had 24 one season, 25 the other. So knows how to put the puck in the net.
Goal every other game in a league, that's tough to do it in.
Yeah, very defensive-minded league. With that said, it's obviously a big jump. Like, is 12 to 15 goals, like, reasonable to ask? I don't think that's unfair to suggest.
When we talked to Stephen Ellis, he kind of made it seem like a 12-goal bottom six guy is, like, right in the wheelhouse of what he could be.
That's
so
promising.
If that's what he could be, if he is a positive surprise, what if he gets you 15 goals?
Then I think you're laughing. I think that's
found money.
That's great. Yeah, exactly. And credit to the staff for going out and finding a guy who, I know he hasn't done anything yet, but looks to be capable of doing it.
Yep.
A lot of these guys come from Europe and they just end up on the fourth line. They don't do anything. And maybe that's what Tomasek is, and hopefully not. But I think when you go back and look at Bowman's history, like, he has a really good resume of plays he's brought over from Europe. Even, like, obviously Panarin being the top one, but there's a lot of the guys.
Marcus Kruger.
There's another guy too. Piasuda was a guy he brought over. There was another fella, I forget his name. I wrote an article about it a few months ago. But it was honestly like a good 10 players in there that he brought over. It was like really solid. Even a couple of goalies. Like, he found Antti Ranta, and there was another guy too. I'm terrible with names, but he found him. Kevin Lankinen.
There you go.
There you go.
And Pius Suter, like, a little bit different because he came over at 24.
Yep,
yeah,
for sure.
But again, he was doing it in the Swiss A League. Like, doing it in the SHL is a different beast than doing it in the Swiss A League. Like a guy, like a Gaetan Haas and all of that. So,
because the SHL is probably the second best European league, right?
Yep.
And KHL.
Yeah, KHL, SHL. I think that's fair. I just hope they have a plan to adjust if needed by the deadline. These guys don't. If these guys don't take quite the step as quickly as contending teams need. Yeah, but I also think this goes hand in hand with the Oilers, having depth and giving players a legitimate opportunity.
Yeah.
And, maybe we'll look back on Zach Hyman missing however much time he could potentially miss as a bit of a blessing in disguise, because it could force Chris Knobloch to not just be running a blender and, not just team up McDavid and Draisaitl when the scoring needs to get done. Like, maybe some guys will get legitimate, honest opportunities, and that ties in a little bit to our Sherwood Ford Giant question, brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant. Had a blast at the golf tournament. You can make them your next dealership by visiting sherwoodford.ca and finding out more about Ford employee pricing. Saw our guy Giant Mike there yesterday. That was fun. Yeah. We saw all of our friends. It was great. Your Sherwood Ford Giant question. How many players do you view as locks to start the season? Let's do forwards. Ruin forwards. How many spots on this team are locked in? Write them in Sharpie on the whiteboard because they won't go anywhere.
Okay, so McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Frederick, Nuge, Mangiapane, Henrique, Kapanen.
You think Kapanen's a lock, eh?
I
don't think he's quite a lock.
I just think, no, you're right. He's
Like, if
not
he
a lock.
stinks,
that's
they'll put him on
9
waivers.
That's 9 guys. Would you add anybody else?
Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, Nuge, Frederick, Mangiapane, Henrique, and Podkolzin. I have 8 guys as locks.
Who was the one guy
you had your 9th was Kapanen.
No, but that was my 10th. Oh, no, that was my 9th. Take him off.
Yeah, I view 8 as locks. So if you're going to kind of look at this lineup, there's obviously a spot, potentially 2 spots next to Connor McDavid up for grabs in training camp, which is crazy. And I think the betting odds favorites to get those spots would be, Nuge potentially as a winger.
Yeah.
Maybe even Henrique as a winger, but I think they're pretty. I think they're pretty set on having Henrique play as a center. At least that's the way they handled it last year. Trent Frederick would be in the conversation to maybe get a spot up the lineup. We really don't know how a healthy Trent Frederick fits in with this group. Mangiapane, the 2 kids, Frederick, Nuge, maybe Kapanen gets a look up there. From the way they talk, Podkolzin will be a lock next to Draisaitl, but then there's a spot open next to Draisaitl. Like if and we are assuming he is, because again, hasn't shot a puck all summer, Zach Hyman won't be here to start. 3 of the top 6, half your top 6 is open.
Yeah, it is. Shooter said, in year 10, how have the Oilers not found 97 wicked wingers? They have. One of them is just out till maybe Christmas in Hyman. So it's not really an issue, a roster issue. It's just an availability issue.
You could also make the argument that they found Connor McDavid an elite winger in Leon Draisaitl, and then Draisaitl just got too good.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh shit, we can't really play them together because he's an MVP when he's on his own. So like,
I do believe at the captain skates, Draisaitl, McDavid, and Lavoie actually skate together a little bit. I think Brendan Escott tweeted that.
I love that because I love that if Connor and Leon are taking an interest and Howard was at an NHLPA thing, that's why he wasn't at those captain skates early on. But like, if Connor and Leon recognize that, like, man, let's start molding these guys. Let's get them to think and see the game at the same way we do. Like that goes a long way in this.
Yeah, totally agree. And I really, again, I think those guys are going to love what Matthew Savoy can bring to the team. There was a line in the playoffs. Was it Nuge, Podkolzin, and I can't remember who it was, but it seemed like that trio was pretty solid. I can't think who it would be off the top of my head.
I can find it for you, but
so that seemed like a good little line. But yeah, obviously some guy. I didn't have Savoy and Howard as locks. I think they both make the team, but also too, if they have, let's just say they have Paul Kemps or like not up to standard.
They're not both locks, yeah.
No, but like I think I would have them as like the next 2 guys up as like hey, like let's do it. More Savoy as a lock than Howard if I had to pick out of the 2, just because Savoy is a year of pro under his belt. And we spoke about it the other day of like, what if Howard has to go and play 10 games in Bakersfield or something like that? Like that's fine. And then who else didn't we have? We didn't have Philp. We didn't have Lazar. We didn't have Kapanen, I guess. Tomasek as locks. There's a lot of competition. Like Max Jones, another guy. Like I don't think he'll make the team, but he's in the conversation, I guess you could say. Yeah.
So Draisaitl, McDavid, Nuge. Let's say there's going to be, I could see them running 14 forward. It'll just depend on if Hyman's LTIR or not. Like, do they want the cap relief from him to start the year to bring a guy up? Not to trade for anyone, obviously, but just to keep an extra guy on the roster. I wonder if they'll do that.
What's their schedule to start the year? Are they at home a lot or are they on the road a lot? Because they start at home. Because maybe that depends on it too, right? If they're on the road start, maybe they take an extra guy.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And that could affect if you want Hyman on LTR. Here's October.
So it starts at Calgary on the 8th to home. And then actually, they probably will carry an extra guy because they go straight east.
Okay. So then let's live in a hypothetical here for a moment where Hyman is on LTIR and they're going to carry 14 forwards. Draisaitl, McDavid, Nuge, Frederick, Mangiapane, Henrique. Let's say everyone listed on Puckpedia makes the team. So both Howard and Savoy have made it. Janmark, Kapanen, and Tomasek are all there. Podkolzin and Lazar are both on the roster as well. Who's the 14th forward there? Who do you think will get the edge on the call up? Probably Max Jones, right? Like, is Max Jones their 15th forward?
Yeah, you would think so.
Noah Philp can play center.
Depends what you want, I guess.
James Hamblin.
James Hamlin's probably not in there. I mean, if we're getting to James Hamlin territory,
that's fair. But again, can play center. What about Ruby Jarventi? He's a real intriguing name. Like
He's only 23.
The guys who watch more of the non-NHL hockey than us, you read the Kerlocks and the original Posars and the stuff those people post. Like, he seems to be an intriguing name amongst some people who I would call very smart.
Yeah.
And he's young, right? Like,
he's only, what is he, 23?
He's 23. He didn't come in with a lot of fanfare because it was just like this sort of random, an August trade where I was like, oh, Bourgault's gone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe like McDowell said, he's the wild card guy, and
He is.
Hey, maybe if Bakersfield, if he plays better than Max Jones, he's probably not in the same conversation as Phil just because he's not a center. Maybe that adds into it. Do they have any other like young forwards down there? Like obviously Petrov, I don't see him in the
Quinn Hudson and Josh Szymanski are both 23.
Yeah, maybe all that.
Vilhelmi Marhala's 22.
Yeah, they got a few options, I guess.
Who we've been told to put some respect on his name, so we will.
Well, I'll learn how to say it.
Apologies to the Marhala family. Yeah, there's no one else really down there that I'm like, they're a sleeper. They could slide in. Like, Jarventi's the wild card. I would say it's probably between Jones and Philp for that last spot. So if you were to ask me what's up for grabs in camp, Jarventi could earn a spot. One of Philp or Jones should be on the team. The only way two of Jones, Jarventi, or Philp are on the team is if someone loses their job, like their spot. Like, I think Howard and Savoie probably need to be like, I'll put it in air quotes, poor.
Really struggle.
They have to struggle if they're going to lose their spot. Kapanen would have to really struggle to lose his spot.
Yeah.
I'm almost at the point, just because he's at captain skate and he's buzzing around and there seems to be some hype about him, I think Tomasek almost has to be poor. Like, I don't think it'll be enough for Noah Philp to just be better than Tomasek. I think it'll have to be like, whoa, Philp is very good and Tomasek is bad. And I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I think the path to two of those three making it is a really tough one. The only guy, and this is where we had some disagreement out in the hall earlier.
Hall?
Well, whatever, in our prep room.
The water cooler.
I don't think Curtis Lazar is as much of a lock as you do. Just because I'm a little, like, I know you're like, he was hurt all of last year.
Yeah.
He's in his 30s. If guys have to take a step back because of injury and they get into their 30s, there's never a guarantee that they find the step they lost. And I want him to work because I think he's an awesome story. But
well, he's only 30. He's not that old. So shout out Aaron, whose birthday is in 2 days. And he turns 30.
3 days.
3 days.
Can't forget it.
Never forget. God.
What were you saying?
775,000 if they look to like make a little bit on the cap, and I know it's the same as Philp, and I don't even know if I have them in the same conversation as like compete for the spot. They are competing against each other, but I could see a world where they both make the team. I just think they're willing to take the chance on Lazar and give him a really good runway to like prove that you're back. Because like by reading his story and like his interviews and listening to them, like the stuff he was going through is kind of crazy, and like you hope he can kind of come back, and we'll really know the answer when preseason starts rolling around. I imagine out of the veterans, he's the guy that gets quite a few games to get his legs underneath him. But Philp's just intriguing. He's not like he's not a young buck.
Yeah.
You know? And he's not old. He's only 27, but he's just like not a lot of experience. And what do they go with? I think they appreciate the fact that they now have right shot sentiment in the organization.
And that is great.
And that's awesome. Thank goodness.
The only counterpoint I'd have to because I actually do think it's a pretty direct piece of competition of like Lazar versus Philp.
It's interesting too that Tomasek today said that he played center so much in Sweden. I didn't know that. I thought he was just like an out-and-out winger. And
he could factor into that as well. If you go through camp and let's say Philp and Lazar, like you're scoring them, you're putting grades on games, you're watching, and they're dead even.
Yeah.
Both need waivers. Do you not have to give the edge to the 27-year-old that you've been trying to develop for the last few years, who you assume has a bit more upside? Because Lazar would clear.
I think they would both clear.
They probably both clear, but does some organization look at Phil and be like, fuck, he's 27, he's barely played,
or do they look at Lazar in the same boat and be like, we got a guy here that's played closest, was he probably 500-600 games?
They would have just given him league minimum. They would have given him 900,000 if they liked him, right?
I think it's going to be they are really like the true competition in camp.
Puckpedia also says Jarventi isn't waiver exempt anymore. So that's another one.
Out of his first year deal or whatever they call it.
But if you have, and again, I don't think this plays out, but if Jarventi looks really good and Tomasek's meh, Tomasek doesn't need waivers, even though he's 7 years or 6 years older than Jarventi.
First NHL deal.
So, like, do you send down Tomasek and keep Jarventi? Like, maybe the waivers thing will keep Jarventi around longer than we think. Because there probably is something to, like, you want to keep him till later in camp and try to just squeeze guys through when every team's putting 5 guys on waivers every day, right?
Do you think Jarventi's the... I know we always have the answer belt, and I don't want it to label as that because I don't think it's an accurate thing for him. But like, do you think he's the guy that kind of lingers around for a while and he's like, shit, this guy's still here? It's like, do you remember a few years ago when, and I know it was more like a, what do they call it, the veterans rule, but like what was that?
Luke Esposito.
Esposito was just around to like the final because like, is this guy going to make the open night roster? Do you see that as Jarventi? Could be. You can think about defensemen too because they have tons.
Yeah, and I think a guy, if we're talking blue line, we've said his name a few times, like Alec Regula is a player to watch in camp. Absolutely he is.
24.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. They must see something in him too, like he signed a 2-year deal with him. I don't think he's currently on their NHL roster, technically.
They can claim other guys from waivers if so many people suck. Decent point.
Totally. When was the last time they did that?
I don't know. Well, Regula.
Raphael Lavoie.
Oh shit! What's he? Where is he?
He must be in Baker. He must be in Henderson still, I would assume. I think he re-signed with them.
Did he?
I think so. Do you know what I'm very curious about? Because they had a quote this summer that just caught me, and I wrote an article about this of like things to expect in or questions we can get answered in September. I don't think he's going to make the team, but like, what does Bo Akey look like? He had a poor season in Barrie. He was a third high-scoring defenseman on the team as a 20-year-old defenseman. That's really not good. He was a first-round pick, was on the team. He went this year, I can't remember his name, Aitchen or something, Aitchison. Sean Aitchison, I think is his name. And then another fella outscored him. He was a second-round pick. I just wonder, like, what does he come here and do? Like, he's going into his first year pro. I don't think he has a shot to make the team, but can he like make a statement of being like, I do belong in the NHL. Like I can go up against my fellow rookies or guys around my own age and I can compete and I can play well. Because he didn't really show that in Barrie from what I've read and seen a little bit of. And the hype on him has dropped significantly, but he's essentially the only prospect in Bakersfield that's a defenseman. So they really need him to show. Like,
Regula's not a prospect, but he is only 25.
Yeah,
it's an interesting age.
And like, there's also this Otto Lepinen guy.
Atro Lepinen, yeah.
He's a left shot defenseman, 26, led the Finnish league in points. I think he's the highest scoring defenseman in like most points by a defenseman ever in that league. 63 points. It's not nothing.
Nope.
It's left shot though.
Yeah, the blue and maybe we'll do blue line stuff on Wednesday. But yeah, the forward group there, I would say Lazar and Tomasek spot and the potential Hyman spot. There are 3 spots that are legitimately up for grabs come day 1 of training camp.
I think Savoy takes Hyman's spot and will play that opening night.
Sure, but Savoy's counted in this 14, right? So that's why I'm just thinking of it as a 14-man roster. Okay. Like Lazar, I could see not being on the team just because you would put him on waivers and it'd probably be fine. Tomasek doesn't need waivers, so if he doesn't play well, that's an easy one to just be like, you know what? We don't want to risk Phil. Tomasek's going down. We're keeping him on the roster through the road trip, and then we'll reevaluate November 1. And then the Hyman spot, because if you're going to put him on LTIR and try to bring another guy up to this team, it makes sense to do that. So yeah, I'll go ahead to answer our Sherwood Ford Giant question and say 3 spots are open, up for grabs, true jump balls in training camp.
Yeah, I would probably agree. I can't. It's good to have competition. Like I don't remember the last time we spoke about is like there's this many spots around the lineup, and I don't think it's based off the Oilers don't have enough players. I just think they have so many guys who can like spread it out. Like another one that's maybe competition in a way, and maybe as it kind of season progresses, but like third line center, like who's it going to be? Because there's Nuge, Frederick, and Henrique who are competing for it.
You wore a really nice shirt today.
This old thing.
Yeah, it's a nice collared shirt.
Thank you.
I feel like we got nerdy there for a second.
Yeah, good.
That was like some good talk radio style shit. Yep. Aside from the Aaron birthday comment. CRTC would never let that fly.
I wouldn't want to forget it.
No, I just really don't want to forget Aaron's birthday. All All right, that's good. Shout out to our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant. And how can you forget Sherwood Power Sports and Marine? Great seeing Raul and all the team out at Sherwood Power Sports there.
Did you win the marshmallow shot?
No. I thought I did. Sherwood Power Sports and Marine did a whole activation at the golf tournament where it was how far can you hit a marshmallow. I took my 4-iron and I smacked that damn thing.
You did.
Didn't win.
You got a good hold of that thing.
I know. I really thought physics-wise, I thought it'd be hard to beat me.
Thought about it more than I did. The hardest part was getting that damn thing on the tee.
Yeah, it was. That was tough for you. You just picked it up and threw it. You were struggling with that. All right. Before we continue along with the show, got to give some love to our friends over at Star Mechanical, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more by visiting them online at starmechanical.ca. Right now, up on our website, there is the Tomasek interview. And Liam, you also wrote, and we'll maybe make you the Star Mechanical guest line today. Oh. You wrote 6 things September should reveal about the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah. So this was
also, hold it. You need a profile picture on the website. You got to put a picture in there.
Yeah, this one, Aaron. Thanks, Aaron. We'll put that on later. 6 things. The McDavid situation. That should, when I started writing it, that was kind of when things were coming out last week. Do you want me to read all 6? Do you want me to spoil the article? Or do you want me to, I already spoke about one. I'm very curious about these Euros.
Yeah.
I really wonder about Leppinen, too. I know how much they love to get the puck up the ice and get it to the forwards. Jake Wallman's a good example of why they went out and got him, but also, too, Wallman's probably way better defensively than what Leppinen would be. Ekholm. We just found out that he actually was injured, which we kind of knew, but then we're told it wasn't true. And
I was going to say, the ones you listed, we just talked to Akey, Nuge, okay, goaltending, Euros, talked about it today,
Yep.
McDavid stuff, The Ekholm one for me might be the one area we are not talking about enough because that is such a swing when it comes to the blue line of either
good or bad.
Well, right? If Ekholm is truly 100% healthy and got himself back up to speed in the summer and looks like, we'll call it 34-year-old Ekholm, then let's go.
Yep.
This blue line is cooking because you have a legitimate top pair again. You have Nurse with Wallman, who I want to see them play the whole preseason in camp together and just run into next year. And then I even love the third pairing if it's Emberson, Kulak, whoever it ends up being. I think they have a really good blue line. If Ekholm, if the injury has slowed him down and he's a step slower, and I really don't think this will be the case, and I hope it's not the case, but you need to have the conversation because he's a player who's older than 35, who's coming off a very major injury. If he has taken a step back, you got to start squinting a little bit with this blue line.
I completely agree. I just hope he's playable, which I think he will be. I don't think he's going to fall off a cliff by any means, but what we saw in the playoffs was just this is not his identity at all. And it was alarming. And again, the fact Bowman came out and was he was healthy. So even if he was healthy.
Why would you say that?
Could have lied.
Just lie.
Just lie. Make us all feel a bit better about what we watched. So, yeah, I agree. I honestly, I think the Oilers blue line is fairly underrated by a lot of people. But that, again, comes down to what Ekholm is. I wonder... would you ever run Nurse on his wrong side? I've always had this point of he's the most athletic player on the team. If anyone can do it.
I just worry about making him even more scrambly, and I'm ooh.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
fine with Wallman playing on his offside if he's with Nurse.
He's done it a lot too. So
he's so calm. And Kulak too.
I don't want Ekholm on the top pair. But also too, one thing we did see that maybe is a bit underrated from all of this is Kulak played really well with Bouchard in the playoffs.
He did
really well. Do you just flip those two guys for a little bit and get Ekholm get his legs underneath him? I don't know. In spot starts, you don't have to push. You don't have to push Kulak's 20 minutes, but if he plays 16, 17.
I want Wallman and Nurse stapled together all camp because I want them to develop something as a legit high-end second pairing, and we hope that it can be that. That top pair, I'm okay if you move it around. I'm okay giving Ekholm games with an Emberson. I'm okay giving Ekholm games with a Regula, and I want Kulak to get his reps with Bouchard, and I'm okay mixing and matching on the first and third pairs almost, as much as I don't really even labeling them all that much because I think they play certain roles for this team. I don't mind that mixing and matching because, again, I do think you need to plan a little bit. As someone said, you almost need to plan for Ekholm being a step slower. So, yeah, see if Kulak and Bouchard still have that,
It makes the trade deadline, again, not to get too far ahead of things, but again, like they're probably going to have to go out and get another defenseman, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like I think most teams who are going for a championship every trade deadline will get a defenseman. Because wasn't it Holland? It's like you need like 9 defensemen, and the others actually use 9 defensemen last playoffs.
Well, and also like if Ekholm's healthy, you can actually look at this and go like they do have 8. Like if Regula is what we kind of hope Regula is or can be.
Yeah. Then they have Brown, Lepinen. They probably have 10 guys who can play in the NHL if you need them to. What
kind of role do you think Josh Brown plays next year?
Bakersfield
Makes you
next to
think though.
Boakey.
No? Oh, really?
What makes you no? Does it? I've not been thinking about it at all.
I know I know lots of people who've been thinking about him.
Josh Brown.
Yep.
Why?
I don't know.
You had me for a second. I will say again,
Regula's better
Brown,
than him.
He is. Josh Brown came into that Kings game in game 1 and did perfectly fine for the way the Oilers got spanked.
I forgot he played a playoff game.
He did all right. He was fine. He was on the penalty kill.
Why was he in that game?
Because they didn't have Ekholm and they didn't have Stetcher still. And then there was someone else who was
Stetcher
missing.
wasn't ready?
No, I don't think he was. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, they needed like a penalty killer. I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, didn't they go 11-7? No, they couldn't have. Because they wouldn't have done that. Stetcher would have just played. Stetcher must have been injured.
No, they might have gone 11-7 and played both Brown and Stetcher. I'm pretty sure they did. I think Stetcher was ready. Let's go.
Let's have a look back.
2025. That was in May.
Yeah, McDowell said, didn't he play like 4 minutes? Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 minutes. He only played on the penalty.
Okay, game 1, it was in LA.
Yeah, they lost 6-5.
Yeah, box score.
Kane was out game 1.
No, yeah, they only played 6. No Stetcher.
Kane was out game 1. You're right, Brad.
Yeah, because they were. I mean, now we can say this because they were really scared the NHL was going to crack down on them.
Yeah.
And the NHL kind of made it known that they were going to crack down on them, and then looked at the Panthers and were like, meh.
The end of last season was crazy.
Yeah, Stetcher
when you think
out.
back
That's
to
right.
it, like the amount of players, like every single game for like 10 straight, it was like, well, there's this guy, oh, there's that guy, and it was like dumb shit. Like Draisaitl stepped on a puck behind the net against San Jose, and wasn't that his return game or something like that? Mm-hmm. That was terrifying. I said this on the last show. The fact the Oilers made the Cup final with what they had last season.
Last year was not supposed to be their year.
It was, and they started playing.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, this.
But like the injuries and all that, like McDavid having a wonky year, like last year was so far from smooth.
I can't believe it. And then they dominated the playoffs.
And
They kicked the shit out of LA after they were down 2-0. Vegas and Dallas didn't even look like they could tie the Oilers' laces.
Yeah.
And then Florida been embarrassed as the last 2 or 3 games.
Last 2 for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the comeback game was fucking awesome. I was so convinced they were winning the Stanley Cup. When Draisaitl scored the OT winner, I was like, great, we're winning the Stanley Cup. Then when they came back and beat Florida, I was like, they just won the one they weren't supposed to. We're winning the Stanley Cup. And then we didn't. Rats. Anywho.
Wasn't a 4-game series, unfortunately.
You know how I'm in that NFL pool where you got to pick every single game against the spread?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And
How'd you do? I did 5-9 this week. No.
So I'm tied for first this week.
Really?
I picked, everyone played this week, so there were 16 games against the spread. There have been 15 so far. I'm 11-4.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm 11-4 against the spread this week. I have the Bears. The other guy.
+2, right?
Well, you had to lock at the beginning of the week, right? So you get whatever the spread was when lines open. Gotcha. So I am the week 1 leader. I have Chicago. The guy who's tied with me is Minnesota. So I have Chicago plus 1.5. I need Chicago plus 1.5 here if I'm going to win this pool.
Well, that's fun.
So a couple $100 on the line. Speaking of which, let's go shout out to our friends at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Chicago looking to start their season on a strong note. They are at home against the Vikings, so they are home dogs. Home dogs in primetime. Bills last night, they won as well. Let me cook something up here.
I don't even know what to cook. Actually, I have one.
Okay, who do you like?
This is just Ben Johnson thing, and it's been all around. But like is his name DeAndre Swift?
Yep.
His receiving yards. It's
Okay.
only like 11.5, 12.5, something like that. Like he was a bit of a pass catcher coming out of college, and then they just stopped using him like that. But in Detroit, Ben Johnson would use David Montgomery as a pass catcher. You get like 3 catches a game, maybe at 15 yards.
Okay.
What is it at?
Receiving props over under. We're looking for DeAndre Swift 16.5.
Oh, that's pretty high now.
That is pretty high. But if you like it, let's put it in. Yeah. Do that. Bears money line. Then let's do both Swift and Aaron Jones to get touchdowns. Both running backs cash in.
Swift and Jones. Yeah, that's a good one.
19-1.
I think I found my thing that I liked last night.
All right.
Both teams to score 20 points.
That is fun.
I really like doing that.
That's a fun one. Again, we bet for entertainment, not
Yeah.
because we're trying to make a bunch of money. Bet responsibly.
Especially when I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah, like that's just a fun one because then no matter what in the second half, you know what you're cheering for.
Yeah, exactly. Points.
Yeah,
Give me
that's a fun
points.
one.
And I hate betting over-unders. I'm not good at judging.
I'm really not either.
This week, there was 2. Oh, yeah, we spoke about that. Do you know one thing I really want to try one day? And I can still do it because we're only 1 week down. I want to do a guillotine league. You ever heard of one of those?
Oh, I wanted to do one so bad.
I know. I think we could still do one. It's only
You
been a
could.
week.
Yeah.
So a guillotine league, what people don't know, is every single week, the lowest scoring team that week is eliminated from the league.
Yeah, so it's like if you start with 14 people in the league,
Yeah.
there's no head-to-head.
Nope.
It's just whoever finishes last, and you do it like a normal fantasy draft. So, like, as those teams get eliminated, their players are just gone.
You're just out.
Yeah.
I think it would be really fun.
There's another variation of it, too, where, like, as teams are eliminated, their players go into, like, the free agent pool.
Yeah.
But it's FOB, yeah. So, like,
that's cool. Fab.
you know, yeah, fab, whatever. So, like, you can, let's say this week Jamar Chase might have gotten you eliminated.
Yeah.
So, like, would you go and, like, blow all your fab week 1 on Jamar Chase, or do you, like...
Do you wait it out?
Yeah, there's, like, some strategy to it. Then the last week, it's just 2 super juggernaut fantasy football teams.
That's kind of fun. So, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of the Bill Simmons podcast.
Yeah.
And his fantasy league is quite a famous league. There's like guys like John Hamm in there, for example. So whoever wins the league,
Yeah.
their reward for winning, they get a cash prize. But when on draft day, they invite someone new to the league, but no one knows who's getting kicked until the day of the draft.
Oh my God.
And they come to the draft set up, and then they're just like, you're out. So John Hamm, the reason I bring him up, he was the one who's kicked out of the league. It might have been a couple of years ago. But he had to like leave a set early to make his draft. Got there just in time. And the winner was like, John, you're out. And he kicks him from the league. I would hate that so
be crazy.
much. It's awesome if you have other leagues.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
All right. That's a wrap on today's edition of the show. Good job, everybody.
That was a great show.
That was an awesome show. We had a lot of fun. Wednesday, we're back. Friday, it's just you.
Is that right?
I'm going to Toronto. Going to watch the
The
Jays.
6th. Guess who I'm going to have on Friday then?
Who?
Michael Menzies.
Wow. Can't I be here for the Menzies Day? Maybe I'll pop on.
I can wait.
It doesn't. Well, I messaged Menzies because someone said to
Okay.
get Menzies on. He's not back in town yet.
No, he's living in the Ville.
He's still in Bonnyville, but he's looking to be in by the end of the month. So I did tell him, I said, your first, I said,
Appearance.
when you're in town, you come in person. And
So for those of you who don't know, Michael Menzies is a new writer at Oilersnation. He's already got 4 articles. He's been here a week.
machine. And he's our dog.
And he is a great friend of ours. We went to Nate with him. Guy loves darts. Not smoking them, throwing them.
To be fair, we don't know that.
Yeah. He also, you may have heard of him. He was the voice of the Bonnyville Pontiacs. Still is.
Yeah.
He's doing road games, which is smart because they go to Canmore. So he has a free trip every year to Canmore. Is that a bad idea?
Not bad.
Not a bad
Not
idea.
bad.
And he never has to go to Bonnyville.
Yeah.
offense.
Shout out to Menzies. He's our guy. Liam and
Yeah.
I, when we used to do Nate Radio together, campus radio, Menzies would pop on. Always
Yeah.
electric segments. I can't wait to have him on the show.
Me too.
He's a beauty.
And he's very fun writer. He's actually kind of like Brownlee.
Yeah, a little
If you
bit.
like
He's got like
Brownlee
that kind of
stuff.
dry.
Yeah.
He's good. So shout out to Menzies. All right, I need to go get some lunch.
Okay.
Real life coming up later on this afternoon. That is a wrap on today's edition of the show. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. And as always, oil out.